I want to share the backstory behind book number 7 in the Vested series, and this is Contracting in the New Economy. And this one's very interesting because I'm a supply chain person. I am not a lawyer, and here I am writing a book about contracts. It blows my mind, but the idea of this really came and was birthed out of a white paper that David Friedlinger and I did on relational contracts. And so why, as we shift to these more strategic relationships, the contracts matter. Because I can't just say strategic relationship and then write a contract that has perverse incentives. Think about that nasty little termination for convenience clause. Oh, you're so strategic, dear supplier, and I have a 90-day termination for convenience, right? It just doesn't add up. And so how do we align our contracts with our intent? And how do we put the relationship first to bring the relational constructs into the paper that we write, our commitment? Because we have trust, we're trying to teach trust in individual relationships, but we also need to have that trust in our corporate relationships. It's not just me and you having trust, it's my company trusts you, and we do that through a contract. So the first part of the book is around the justification, and the book is written for commercial people, lawyers, attorneys who are out there writing contracts. So it's framed up around contracts. And there's research why we need to change and begin to adopt what we call relational contracts, formal relational contracts. We talk about the history of it, and then our specific research, our work with Oliver Hart on relational contracts, why the economics of these relationships are different. And then the whole back half is really the story of Island Health and the hospitalist. And we walk through each of the steps in the relational contracting process through the lens of Island Health and their doctors. And so they don't have a contract, they're in arbitration, they hate each other. And so how they took that relationship, and instead of using the traditional approach to contracts, they took a step back and they said, you know what, I'm gonna pilot this new thing called vested and relational contracts and see if this can get us unstuck. And that's exactly what happened. It went from a very toxic, turmoil relationship, very adversarial, to this day, amazing relationship, award-winning relationship that's driving innovation. They're really pioneers in Canada for what they're doing around the hospitalist services. And so that's the backstory of a book about why I, a supply chain person who is not a lawyer, writes a book about contracts.